everyone, PolishLynx is back with you, and Narcissu is here too. Let's go! Around when the sun, which had been so high, was setting. After I left the hospital, I returned home. I'm home. At the empty front door, my voice reverberated. From that closed-off room, the moment I opened the door, a blast of hot air had come out. I opened the living room window and let in the outside air. Even just that much cooled the room. Looking at the clock, it was 4 o'clock, still early for Mother to come home. I placed my slightly sweaty sailor uniform in the washing machine and changed into pajamas. And then, after I finished washing the rice to help out Mother, who would be returning soon, I finished the preparation for making dinner. Since I was feeling well at this point, I set myself to doing at least this much. Really, I could just relax in my room, but instead I switched on the fan in the living room. Father and Mother are walking in the middle of this heat. For me alone to be in a cool air-conditioned room, it gave me a bad feeling and I couldn't do it. She's home. I'm home. Welcome home. Mother returned from her part-time job. Almost always around this time she would come home. Setsumi, did you eat dinner yet? Not yet. Then, let's eat together. They I got lots of croquettes again. Sitting at the table across from each other, the two of us started an early dinner. Because Father's commute had lengthened, he often came home late, and so the times the two of us ate like this, separate from him, increased. So, is it good? If you want, eat the fries too. You like them, don't you? With that, Mother offered a plate of fries. Before I had continued to eat them silently since then, it seemed Mother thought I liked them. You know, your mother since yesterday had been trying the fries. So, these aren't really just leftovers. You don't have to worry. You see, when I said that you liked them, the people at the store said I could take home as much as I wanted. Cheerfully, happily, Mother spoke on. Exactly what were the conditions that led the people at the store to say that, I didn't know. But just from imagining it, I was filled with guilt. For some reason I was pained. So, from now on, look forward to it. In front of such a mother, all I could do was just stay quiet and continue eating the fries, trying as best as I could to eat as if they were delicious. A few days after, with the usual cicadas at the sun consecutively, I have no idea, setting record heat. Under such a sky, I came here once again. A high ceiling, a white room, a small folding chair on which I sat. However, even though I came here, it was just I came here, simply that. It's not like we talk about anything special, and at the least, I never brought up any interesting conversation topics. It was just on the level of sitting next to her, unilaterally chatting Himeko-san, making uninteresting responses. Say, one question. Decisively, I tried asking a direct question. Is being with me fun? Yes. When I am with you, I know no boredom. Sarcasm? No such a thing. It's really fun. A Setsumi-chan lovely-dovey kind of thing. Maybe she's staying with me? I couldn't help thinking that but Himeko-san was always like this. Once idly getting all worked up, whatever I said, and cheerfully following her own pace to the end. And then, just when we had that exchange, Good afternoon. The person who came in was an older lady I didn't recognize. It was the first time I saw anyone come to this room. Himeko-san, how are you feeling? Well, nothing special, I guess. Today is a bathing day. What should I do? I'm fine. Thanks for your concern. Then, if there's anything, feel free to say. With those final words, the lady I didn't know left the room again. At first, I had thought it was a family member, but it seems to be otherwise. Maybe it was a helper. Since she was wearing an apron, she seemed like one. It was just that I thought she was somehow different from the other people I knew, called helpers. That person just now was a helper, assigned to someone else, assigned to someone else. It seemed that I was right that she was a helper, but because there really did seem to be a difference, Himeko-san explained about helpers here. It seems that the helpers of the general wards were generally supposed to help people in a physical sense. Depending on the hospital, it could be a job, and there also seemed to be some who looked upon it as a form of part-time work. Compared to that, the 7th floor helpers, because mental care was relatively important, if you came thinking it was a part-time job, you apparently wouldn't be accepted. Well, at least for this hospital, all the 7th floor helpers should be volunteers. I see. How admirable. I was a bit impressed. It might have been obvious, but I had heard that those who have not been informed beforehand cannot enter the 7th floor. For those people who by their own choosing volunteer for free for the sake of those patients, I plainly felt admiration. But at my reaction, Himeko-san, indeed, admirable. She replied without conviction. Looking at it normally, you'd think you'd sense a bit of something like appreciation. And then, Himeko-san's words from before, though assigned to someone else, that someone else knocked at me. From just those words, one would think that Himeko-san's assigned helper also existed somewhere. But so far, I had never seen anyone like that. Himeko-san's assigned helper is... There isn't one. Isn't one? Why? Because I don't need one. Plainly, that was the only answer she gave. I didn't really understand, but maybe the 7th floor helpers could be refused if the patient said so. Certainly, Himeko-san, when compared to other people of the 7th floor, could what normally end, because she was young, was lively, but... Come to think, since I've come here, I had no one seen any family members come to visit. But that's because now you come. It's as if she saw what I was thinking and replied, Thanks, that leaves 3. Leaves 3? Yeah, I wanted a friend from a different age group. You know, isn't it common then 10 things you want to do before dying? And she lightly used the word dying. That might also be because she's off the 7th floor, but to have that word said in a cheery voice suddenly was jarring. However, the 10 things one wants to do before dying. What they were, I didn't know. How much time Himeko-san had left, I also didn't know. Looking at it in the other way, I could say there were 3 things remaining. Well, it's like that, Setsumi. If the Bible is correct, it seems like the world was created in 7 days. And so, even with the time I've left, don't you think most of them are possible? Oh, she's right. That doesn't make a good example. But it does. Don't say things like that. There's 3 things left, so if you don't mind, come along with me. It looks like we've become friends, the 2 of us. Open the Upon the first week of meeting, I've been asked to go along with the 3 remaining things to do before dying. Himeko-san's words. I didn't know how serious she was, but it seems that I would probably be coming to this place often. As the sun slowly sank and the sky stained orange, I left the hospital. Today I may have been at the hospital too long. As I was thinking that, my eyes landed on the schoolyard. Again there were children running around happily. Even the metal bar I did a somersault on before had plenty of patrons today. Summer vacation, dusk, the voices of Higurashi, sweetly playing children. Each and everything were the everyday parts that built up the scene of a common summer day. There was nothing out of place. No one who made a strained face like mine from a single somersault. One-san, what's wrong? As I continued to stand gazing, one child that was playing spoke to me. Did you want to play with the bar? Not particularly. It's nothing. With just that answer, I turned on my heel. Looking up in the sky already darkening, I heard along the road home. I'm home. Welcome home. The preparations for dinner are about done. Looking at the clock, it was already about 7. Today, Mother had come home first, and together with Mother, we began our usual early dinner. Speaking of which, today we were quite late. I went to the hospital a bit. Yeah? Today was an examination day? That's not it. But I worried about how to answer. How should I talk about Himeko-san? Being an acquaintance seemed safe, but after thinking a bit, I decided to answer like Himeko-san said. I went to a friend's place. A friend? Mother repeated my words back to me. She also had a surprised, unbelieving sort of expression. However, Mother having that kind of reaction was probably unavoidable. For the word friend to come out of my mouth was itself rare. Well, at the very least, in the past few years, it probably had been impossible. I see. That's wonderful, Setsumi, my dear friend. And this time she happily continued speaking. To that happy mother, I spoke about the events that happened up until now. That she was a very kind, honest son. That lately I've been going to play every day. That often I was taken to go eat ice cream. It sounds like a very kind, honest son. And it's not like I was lying, but I wasn't able to say that she was a resident of the 7th floor. Why I thought that, I didn't know the exact reason. Being on the 7th floor wasn't Himeko-san's fault, it was no one's fault. I knew that. Because I was in a similar position. Because at some point the people I knew disappeared. I knew it even more so. It was probably the feeling of not wanting to worry her. I'm sure that Mother would imagine that he was another normal patient, or perhaps a nurse. But to deny that didn't seem like something I could do. I know. Then starting tomorrow, why don't I make lunches for you? Yeah? Even this distance, it must be a pain to come back, right? Mother continued being happy. Lately my health had been good, and probably hearing I had made a friend made her extra happy. I wouldn't say it out loud, but I think it hasn't been since the 6th day trip. She had always put effort into making lunch for me. Leave it to me, I'll make the feast. Fast, god damn it. In front of such a happy mother, I could say nothing. As always, all I could do was quietly eat the fries. Okay, let's finish it a little earlier, and chapter 6 will be started from the new episode of the game, of the video on my channel. I hope you enjoyed the story so far. I've been loving the first part of the game, and I really like the second one. We'll see where this is going. So see you in the next one. Bye.